I am a professional trader. I do not have much of a social presence just because I've been mastering my own craft offline for the past 6 years. But I think it is finally time for me to show you all today what I've been doing in the past 6 months that have really elevated my game. That is specifically utilizing AI as well as some NinjaScript strategies to be able to help automate getting into positions and some of the risk management, and then myself kind of tailoring the risk management alongside the trading. The tools I want to show you all today are how to use AI to write NinjaScripts to automate your trading. And I also want to validate myself by showing you all some of the accounts I use. I use these NinjaScripts to help automate passing evaluations for prop firms. In fact, one of my major prop firms that I'm an affiliate with, if you use my code, you can get 80% off of a new prop firm account with Apex Trader funding. I love using them. I've had several payouts from them, and I'll even show you all where my current PA accounts are. I have 20 of them, all at least a couple $1,000s in profit. And I've been able to achieve those with these strategies, with using these AI tools that I'm going to give you all today to do exactly what I am doing. It just takes a little bit of testing, some back testing, and some general knowledge with AI that we'll kind of cover today. The black bar over my screen is just to protect my identity. That is my Apex ID, so don't want that getting stolen by accident here. But as you can see, when I scroll down here, I have 20 PA charts with Apex right now. A lot of my accounts are about $9,000 in profit. Did have a rough day a few days ago, so we are down to 53,000 on a few accounts, but hoping to get those back. With this new strategy I've been back testing, I think we'll be able to get that back in the next day or so. Now, how am I doing this? I was able to play with ChatGPT. I know enough C# to do some NinjaScript, using NinjaScript 8 myself, but coding from scratch was just taking a way too long, and where ChatGPT is now with writing code, it can get so far, and in fact, I've really had to even use any of my coding experience to automate this trading, which means I've been able to limit all of my time looking at code, fixing those things, and focus on back testing, finding the perfect parameters to run for the current market conditions. So I have put all of my research, time and development, my own strategies that I developed back in the day that I've been running, and I used them all to create this NinjaScript Genie GPT in ChatGPT. So I will have that linked in the description, but please be sure to go and check that out. This is a very, very powerful GPT. I'm telling you, I have used every single strategy in my strategy builder and put it in here to guide NinjaScript Genie to create you the best scripts possible to pass evaluations, just generally trade futures, and be able to backtest and optimize strategies. All you need to do when using the NinjaScript Genie is tell it what you're going for. You don't even have to mention specific indicators you're wanting to use. If you're wanting to use ATR, VWAP, all those things, you don't have to know anything about trading. Actually, it's really funny. You just need to give it your overall goal. So what I had to do is walk it back and go from the perspective of prop firms, because those are what I like to use to be able to leverage, less of my own personal risks. That way I can get ultimate reward here. So what I do is I say, please prepare me a strategy that takes advantage of, let's say, Apex prop firms, and I trade 50K accounts, rules for consistent profit. I need to be able to back test this strategy to find the exact parameters to match market conditions. And so this, and I recommend using GPT-5 just because it is a bit more powerful in coding. Yeah, it returns the exact account rules for Apex, which is the starting balance of 50K. Like I said, has the trailing drawdown of 2,500. That, love it or hate it, that is the rule there at Apex. And you also have your max daily loss, consistency rule, and your profit target to pass. So it knows we're going for that $3,000 profit target. So hopefully it builds something into the rule that knows to stop trading once we hit 3,000, so that way we don't risk losing the evaluation. And then we have everything here ready to copy and paste into our NinjaScript builder. This is pretty good length strategy here, just looking at this. Yep, that looks good, and you can see that all these parameters here will be editable and optimizable with backtesting. Nice. And then it also gives you next steps for how to load up your strategy into NinjaTrader by pasting the code. Tells you how to backtest it. I didn't tell it what instrument I was wanting to use. I prefer the NASDAQ, so I should have told it NQ. The more specific you can get, the better the result you're going to get. And you can always come back and tailor this, change the code, build upon the strategy. And then it goes ahead and gives you some optimization suggestions for applying a time filter, a scaling filter, and a consistency filter, which is really nice. And so it gives you kind of a whole 3-step process there. It gives you the code, tells you how to put it into your NinjaScript strategies, then where to backtest and start optimizing those key parameters. And then it also gives some even further optimization suggestions, which is really helpful. Now I'm going to go one step further beyond my GPT and give you all the exact strategy that I've been running away with over the past month. This strategy has been insane. All those 20 PAs, that's how I passed 40 evals to get those PAs. Feel free. I'm going to link the repository to GitHub for this exact strategy. I've uploaded. It's public. It'll be in the description. But this is a strategy that I worked on using my NinjaScript Genie GPT. Like, if you want to go code your own, you can also use that. And that is how I got this exact process here. But if you look here at the declarations, I have a ton of parameters here, and this took a lot of backtesting with. This is not a just plug and play. There is some backtesting that needs to be done, but this is a highly customizable and amazing strategy that you can implement to at least get a good foundation for being able to start passing some evaluations. So far, I've seen that this one has about a 50% pass rate with evaluations. If it fails a few evals one day, you can buy some more evals the next week, and odds are it's going to pass a few of those. So take it with a grain of salt. The reason why we buy evaluations is we know we're going to fail some. They become profitable once we're at about a 30% plus pass rate. And this, with some backtesting and some optimization that I've had to do, gets me up to about a 60% pass rate, which is double the minimum to start being profitable. And at my rate, has replaced my full-time income. This is what I do now. If you're spying on any of my other strategies on the right, you can tell I've tried using DeepSeek for this. DeepSeek was good back when I first started, but ChatGPT, especially with GPT-5, has really taken over as my primary place to turn to for creating these strategies. Now, as I create these strategies, do some backtesting, and I get some of these templates that I can start to run with, how do I begin to think about rolling these out? So what I like to do is utilize the sim accounts that you can trade with. I use NinjaTrader specifically, and the beautiful thing with these sim accounts is you can have it run while you already have your other automated trading actually running on your actual evals, and you can start to validate your new system that you can roll on. So if this one's outperforming, then the next week I might roll on this automated trading set of parameters because it's more suitable to the market conditions. So this is an example right now that I have pulled up of one that I did a ton of backtesting the day before and started to see that market conditions have been shifting with the CPI data coming out and people expecting rate drops. So I did some backtesting and ran it for a few hours this morning, and it looks like it made 5 trades. Very unrealistic to have a 100% win rate, by the way. This is not realistic at all, but happened to go really well today, happened to run really well. I'm going to run it at least again tomorrow before I actually throw this onto one of my PA accounts and see if it'll start making me profit. As you can see, if I had thrown this on my PA account today, we would have made a little over $1,700, which is really impressive for just couple hours in the market today. This automated trading strategy is performing really well using the strategy that I just shared you. All I did was did some optimization to the market conditions as of as how it stands right now. And you got to remember, these are temporary programs, so we need to be able to be flexible. And that's why the NinjaScript Genie GPT is so powerful, because we're able to create a new script so quick and be able to optimize it to the new market conditions. We can't just create a strategy and run it forever, because markets change, and they change all the time, and very, very adverse. So you cannot stay in one of these strategies too long. You need to change your parameters. You need to keep testing. And you need to sometimes create entirely new strategies. So I'm sharing the one I have with you, but I encourage you to learn from that, maybe copy paste that into NinjaScript Genie with some of your own stuff and create an even better one. But this is what I've been rolling with. It's been pretty powerful for about the past month and a half, and with back testing and some walk forward optimization, it looks like it's going to be good for at least a little while longer. And in fact, today it looks like I'll be able to roll it out this week again. Just remember, market conditions change, and this automated trading needs to consistently be updated. You can't just set it and forget it. So to recap, how I have been using these strategies over the past 6 months to elevate my trading experience is I've been using ChatGPT to help with getting past that coding barrier, how much time that's been taking away from me actually being able to get in the weeds and trade and optimize. So please be sure to use my NinjaScript Genie down below. Like I said, it is free. It's a free GPT. It literally is harmless to click the link and just try it real quick. If you hate it, so what? You can always just create and chat and try to do it all yourself. You can do it in a ChatGPT chat as well. Just the NinjaScript Genie has been trained with my strategies that have been good for the past years. So there's a lot more expertise in the background there. Then after that, I take in that strategy and put it into NinjaScript, so that way I can start to optimize it based on the past. I'd like to do about the past 1 month on my favorite instrument. I trade NQ, but obviously change the parameters and the time frame, according to what you deem best. And don't just test raw optimization, also do some walk forward optimization. Just that way you can test in multiple different areas if you're profitable across all three. This might be a pretty good strategy to start to try to roll out and test with a sim account, which is step 3. Test these with a sim account for at least a day or two, just to make sure that you didn't overfit to the market conditions. Now, we do need to change all the time to match the changing market conditions, but if we overfit for a specific time frame, it's likely not going to be near as profitable in a different time frame. We don't want to get a perfectly straight line that goes straight up. We need to know that there's going to be some error. We're going to have a loss rate. Just make sure that your max drawdown isn't too much for your evals, for your prop firms, and go from there. And step 4 is keep testing, keep trying new things, thinking about market conditions, where are things going. Optimization doesn't stop. I do it every single day. I see what I can change better. Am I looking at an ATR of 100 or 110? Is that going to be better for this indicator? What works best for my strategy changes every day. So I need to be testing every single day. Then the last thing that I didn't mention yet, but I am going to mention now, which is step 5, is nothing can replace your own knowledge for trading. I really, really recommend that when you are running these strategies, you are sitting there watching the trades, understanding why they're happening, watching the price movement, and learning how you match with the bot. Now, what has really elevated my trading over the past 6 months to where I'm now having 20 active PAs at a time, where I'm up over $20,000 in ready payouts across all of my prop firms, is I don't just take these strategies at face value, but I take the years of expertise that I've been able to gain from watching charts, and I trade alongside these strategies. When it enters a position and I see that the market, just based off of what I know, has a 70% chance of reversing back down and creating a loss, I will cut that profit earlier before it tanks all the way back down and ends up actually being a loss, just because the trading strategy had a little bit too much reward to risk ratio. And the same can be vice versa. If things are trailing down and I'm pretty confident that we're in like an ascending wedge on an elevating market, and we had some good news earlier that day, just things kind of pop down, I'll be sure to make sure that our risk to reward ratio allows us to take the profit instead of the hard loss. Let your runners run and quickly take losses when you are wrong. That is the hardest part of trading, and that is the part that you just can't teach without watching. So you can get a bot that will pass some evals. The one I told you about today and I'm sharing with you all for free, as that is currently at about 60% pass rate for me. But if you want to be consistent in the long run and really make a ton of money on your PAs and getting good payouts from prop firms, you need to take one step further and get really familiar with price movement. So really, I recommend as these are passing your evals that you're watching the price movement, getting comfortable with the trading landscape, and starting to understand the market conditions. That way you can elevate your game as well. But I hope this was helpful. This has been revolutionary to me, and I feel like there's not enough people talking about this in this space and sharing free resources. So I really hope that this has been able to help at least one person. And if you want more trading content in the future, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm just now kind of coming out to the public just because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation there about trading. You can never really replace hard experience, and I want to get that message out there, but there is a lot of tools in AI that we can use to at least get us a pretty dang good head start. And so I want to share some of the tools and tricks as well as some of the lessons to elevate your personal game while you can use some of these tools that are out today.